Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast. My name is Janie, Charlot, your host, and welcome to another episode. Today, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about earthing, which is also called grounding. And I want to talk about how amazing this is for the body and for healing. And it's free, okay? It's totally free and it's very, very healing and it's good for the body. And this is a practice that I have been doing for several years now, and I love it. I feel it in my body, I feel it in my cells, and I have done the research on it. There's tons of science out to back it up, and I want to just break it down a little bit just so everybody kind of understand what it is. So basically, on a very simple, basic level, grounding is living in a way that you are connected to the earth, all right? Also called earthing, and also allowing the energy of the earth to balance the energy in the body. All right. And when we do this, we can decrease inflammation in the body, among other things. But that's one of the biggest benefits because if you know anything about disease, especially the research that is in this country, the two biggest disease causing problems is inflammation and oxidative stress. So if you can decrease your inflammation, you can decrease the risk of having inflammatory diseases, all right? And there's a lot of them out here, all right? So many of them. And I'll go over a few of them as I go on a little bit, all right? So, how we are currently living, right? We are living and working in high-rise buildings. You know, we're wearing synthetic soles. Women are wearing a lot of high heels. We are sleeping in high beds. So we are very much far away from the ground, all right? Most people do not go outside without shoes on. And if you think about it, when we were kids, we would run around all day with no shoes on and we had tons of energy, all right? So we are living in a way that we are not connected to the earth. And the thing is, the earth has an infinite amount of electrons, all right? An electron is a negatively charged particle. And the earth gets its electrons from solar energy, solar radiation, which is the sun. It also gets it from lightning and heat that is within the center of the earth, okay? But just as much as that heat and those electrons are at the core of the earth, it is also on the surface of the earth, all right? So when we have an inflammatory process in the body, acute inflammation, the process should go away pretty quickly. But there is chronic inflammation, and that's where issues can occur, because in chronic inflammation, you have the repairing and the breaking down of tissue at the same time. And when we have that, you have something called free radicals that form. All right. And free radicals can destroy healthy tissue in the body. All right. Most often, free radicals are positively charged. However, some of them are negatively charged and some of them are neutral. So what happens is when you have chronic inflammation, you have an abundance of positively charged ions in the body, and it's imbalanced. And when those positive ions are in the body, it's looking for negative ions. Why? Because of balance. The body wants balance. The body wants homeostasis, right? So we don't have those free electrons roaming in the body unless we get them somewhere, right? So you can get them by earthing. Remember, the earth is negatively charged with electrons. So when we go outside with bare feet, on the ground, on the concrete, in the sand, whatever it is, you are getting those electrons through the soles of your feet coming up so that it can balance out those free radicals that are moving about in your body and causing chronic inflammation. All right. So that is the just and the biological background of how it balances the body and decreases inflammation. I wanted to mention this book is called Earthing, all right? the most important health discovery ever. And it's by Clinton Ober, who was a pioneer in it, right? He really started the journey on getting a lot of scientific research done. There's also a Earthing the movie. You could watch it. You could find it on YouTube. Very, very informative. All right. So how are some ways that we could earth and ground? So like I said, you could go outside in bare feet, all right, and just stand there in the grass. That's something I do often, especially when the sun is out. I love it. I just go outside and I stand in the grass barefoot. Another way that I like to get it in, of course, is at the beach. You have the energy coming in through the soles of your feet, from the sand, from the water, from everything. That's another great way. You could go out and hug a tree, all right? The trees are out there holding on to all this energy from the earth. You can go and get some of that energy as well. All right. However, some people can't go outdoors. All right. Some people just cannot. Perhaps you live in an area that it's very cold out, especially now. It's the winter time. The weather is iffy. It's raining. It's cold. You could purchase grounding mats, and there's several of them. You can get some that you could lay on. You can get some that you could just put your feet on. You could get a work chair that you could actually put it on, and you really want to have that skin contact to the mat. There's also skin pads that you could place at different areas on your body if you feel pain or inflammation there. I have a grounding mat that we use faithfully at the house, especially like if you're working out and you're a little bit sore. That comes from inflammation. So you could sleep on that mat at night. I can put my feet on it if I'm working at my desk throughout the day. And we also have grounding pads that you could place on different areas. And it actually, the whole kit comes from Clint Ober, who's the founder, and it's amazing. So you could find it out there. Just look for grounding mats. And this is if you cannot go outdoors and ground. But I highly recommend getting it the old-fashioned natural way. Go outside in nature, take your shoes off, get in the grass, walk the beach, put your feet in the sand, and ground. All right, and you will feel the energy coming through. At night when I put on my pads, because I typically put them on the soles of my feet, I feel the energy coming in. I really do. And if you could think about it, and this is just an analogy or a visual for you guys, you could think of the earth as a huge super battery, all right, that's constantly charged with negative electrons. And all day long, we are not only bombarded by the inflammation, right, from free radicals, but we're bombarded from tons of things, cell phone, energy, just things that's out in the muck, that's, in the quantum field, that is negatively impacting the energy that we carry. And that's why it's so important to understand that we are energy beings, and that energy has to be balanced. Energy is always balanced. You never blend energy. It's always balanced. So just like we balance these protons in our body with the natural electrons of the earth for an even balance. And if you remember back in your chemistry class and biology class, it was always about balancing the equation. Even in math, it's balancing the equation. Everything is about balance. So that is what the body wants. It wants to maintain homeostasis and balance. So I want to talk a little bit about the benefits on a healing level, a medical level of grounding. All right. As I said, the biggest thing is that it decreases inflammation. Inflammation and oxidative stress are the two biggest causes of disease. All right. It's in almost all diseases that causes inflammation: diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol, asthma, all of these things. So if you could decrease inflammation, guess what? You're helping to fight chronic inflammation. You're going to get better sleep. Your blood pressure is going to be down. You may even be able to fight off diabetes. Of course, that'll come with other things, changing your diet, working out, stuff like that. Increased energy. It also stabilizes your sleep and wake cycle as well. You'll notice that you're sleeping better. Every time I use my pads at night, I sleep amazing all the time. Those are just some things I wanted to actually go in the book. I kind of flagged the page because there's so many things that are linked to inflammation, and I just want to read a few of these off. A few of these issues off. Let me get to it real quick. But this is free to do. It's free to do. You'll feel it. And I just want to talk about, some people say, well, will I feel it immediately? Well, you might. It depends on how much inflammation, how much pain you're having. But I will say that the more you do it, the more you'll feel it. The more inflammation you'll feel it, the better you will feel, actually. Thought I had flagged this page, so just give me a second to find it. I might have to look at the table of contents real quick. So another thing is, if you stop grounding, then perhaps the pain and inflammation. That's another thing. Chronic pain. If you're somebody that's dealing with some chronic pain, I definitely recommend, to ground. Chronic pain is typically linked to chronic inflammation, right? And this book is filled with tons of research. You can't see too well, but you could actually see some scans here where side-by-side pictures were taken, where one was inflammatory prior to earthing and doing very many sessions of earthing, and then how the other side, it wasn't so inflammatory. So the book has tons of research listed in it, and it really breaks down, it really breaks it down. And there's also a cardiovascular connection, how it's grounding is a natural blood thinner as well. So it's tons and tons of benefit. And my thing is, why not do it if it's free? It's putting you out in nature. It's going to make you feel good. You're not ingesting anything in your body that could potentially have some harmful effects. We know that the earth is natural, is Mother Nature. There's tons of things that, we should be getting from Mother Nature. Okay, so just because I'm looking for this, I will not be able to find it. All right, let me just go back this way one more time. Okay, maybe I can't find it. Well, anyway, there's just a ton of things that cause inflammation. I've said a lot of them off the top of my head, but all right, here we go. Finally found it. So allergies, all right, Alzheimer's disease, anemia, arthritis, asthma, autism, cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes type 1 and 2, fibromyalgia. We know fibromyalgia is chronic pain and no one knows what is causing the pain, right? Intestinal disorder, gut health, all right, kidney issues, lupus, multiple sclerosis, pain, a lot of autoimmune diseases, pancreatitis, eczema and psoriasis, like all of these things. There's a list here, right, that you could look over, if you grab this book. It's earthing, all right? Tons of research listed in the book. You could do your own research, but I wanted to just quickly do this podcast on the benefits of earthing and connecting to our earth, all right? Mother Nature is amazing. She supplies us with so much resources, so much. And, a lot of times we're constantly pillaging and taking from the earth and we're never giving anything back. So when you're out there grounding, thank Mother Nature, thank the earth, thank her for supplying you day in and day out with all these these electrons that is here to balance you and your body out, all right, and to give you ultimate healing at a very deep and cellular level, all right. So I'm gonna keep it short on this podcast. That's all I wanted to talk about was earthing and grounding and the benefits and how you could self-heal and, earth as much as you can. And if you can't get out, get you a grounding mat. You can purchase these. There's tons of places. You can get it on Amazon, and there's tons of different types of mats. There's actually earthing sheets. You could put a whole sheet on your mattress and earth. There's actually earthing or grounding shoes or soles that you could actually wear as well. So look out for those. That's all on this podcast. My name is Janie Charlot, your host, and we appreciate you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. And as always, we are here to spread lots of love and light to connect the heart with the mind in many, many different areas. So stay tuned for our next episode. Take care.